going on? What's 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 going on? Don't have my chat over here 1 second. Sammy Sharma. What's going on? What's going on? How we doing? I totally didn't mean to run late. I was actually creating some 3D printed stuff. And let me just show you. Shall I? So, let's see if I can make this the size of... There we go. So, I was working on getting some stuff 3D printed. I think I showed you guys this one. Man, the light is so bright. It just says, yeet. I don't know why I used to say that all the time, and my brother thought it would be funny that, or I thought it would be funny to have something like this, but my mom's boyfriend, Dave, he has my brother's old 3D printer, and he made this, and I thought it would be funny as crap to have one, and I saw he had made one of his own, and so I said, I want one of those. I used to say it all the time when I would play my games. Shin, what's up, man? Constantine, how we doing? AN, Gold Star Trading, how you doing? Jag in the house. What's up? Lance Bass in the house. But yeah, there's it's pretty cool. You can do a lot of stuff with this. Like I was just messing with putting, I didn't know how to switch because I was reading this part where it says 9829 heart and then 8224 cross, but then I didn't understand how to get these in there because I was like, okay, you just put the number in like so. Save it. Oh, that's right. For this, you have to get rid of the quotes. And you get the heart. And then I did the 8224. Saved it. You get the cross. And so I was like, oh, pretty easy. But how do I get the pen, the clock, the key, the pin, the star, the thumbs up, the thumbs down, all that stuff? And then I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, you know what? I just happened to look up and I was like, oh, well, they got everything in quotes up here. Let's try that. And so I decided to give that a shot. And sure enough, it turned pink like everything else. Oh, missing a letter in there. Let's try that. Oh, yeah. Looky. Love it. Wonder if I could actually add one on the, like something on the left and the right. But anyways, I digress. That's why I was a minute late, because I was messing with that. So what's everyone up to, guys? My prediction of the SPY having a little bit of a pullback, which I made in the Discord this morning, is starting to look like it might be coming to fruition here. If we can get through this 354 area, which I tried to use as support here, it was resistance here. I think we might be in for this area down here around 340. Not really anything holding it up really after this 354 area, so it'd be interesting to see what it does. Tinker? No tinkering. With what? I think we got something, boys. I think we got something, boys and girls. Especially a beer. 3D models, what about them? That's all you do with when you're making 3D stuff is tinker with it until you get it to the way you like it. I've never used that program before. I've always used the online version of is it Thinkiverse? Yeah, Thinkiverse. When I needed something, and for some reason that wasn't working. So my brother, who's been doing it for quite some time, he directed me to that OpenSCAD, and that's what I've been using. Was it the which charismatic voice? The one at the beginning? The what's up? I don't even remember what I said. What did I say? You're gonna make me go back and listen to it. Let's see. What's going on? 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 That one? uh, Happy hour has started. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's get to the happy hour part of the happy hour. Pull my sleeve down so I can crack that baby without destroying my pinky. I know I've been complaining about my pinky, but it still hurts like really bad. Like I can't freaking. I crack my knuckles a lot. I can't crack that knuckle. It hurts too bad to crack. Like once like I can bend it, like it's not broke or anything, but the minute I like touch and try to yeah, I've been hearing a lot. Well, not hearing. I've been reading a lot on Twitter about mainly from just Madaz and Chris Verma. Those guys talking about the algos lately. And I mean, I can't totally disagree with them because I can't tell you how abnormal this crap has been lately. Billy actually was an exception where what's been happening a lot is these stocks are making a high, coming down, and then going back up the high of day. And when they get through, like to that area, like say it wanted to like poke through 62 or whatever, usually if it would do that, it would reject and, end up making a move like this. If it rejected, if it wanted to continue, use 62 as support and continue. But what it's doing is it's just running up, like stopping everybody out, running like below 62, and then like dumping like this. Well, actually, let me just look at one of my other trades. I'm pretty sure that kind of did it. Yeah, like OSTK was kind of one of them. It's just like they keep running it back the high of day. It's like you think it's done, and then it runs the high day, and then you think it's done, and then it runs the high day. What was the other one? WKHS. This one was actually really annoying, but this one actually continued. Yeah, this one actually really continued. Jeez. But this is kind of what I'm talking about. Is we're getting these runs, we're getting the pullbacks, and then they come up, and it's like they just want that little bit more. But even here, actually, this is a good example with WKHS and Billy. How many times do you see this sloppy seconds where it tries to go high day and rejects, and then comes down and breaks that previous low and continues lower? That's usually what happens with sloppy seconds. But lately, we've been seeing this where it's like I guess like A, B, C, or A. I guess this is A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, D. The higher, yeah, this is the C. But that's what we're seeing a lot of this lately. And I really think it is along the lines of some algos, especially on the ones that are getting tons of volume. Billy was kind of the same way, except this one actually did what sloppy seconds usually does. But even when we're getting the sloppy seconds, usually the bouncy ball is a lot smaller than this. It's not usually let's go up high of day, test it, and then fall. It's usually, all right, that was a pretty extended move. We come down. The odds of us getting all the way back up the high of day are pretty slim, but let's try. We'll get to through 61, fail, and then make this move. But instead, they're making these crazy pushes, and it's crazy. I think this one had a daily level, or why did I mark that? I don't remember why I marked. Or maybe that was that was from the example I was given there for a second. I'll say Billy's at all-time highs. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy. Yeah, shorting the retest of highs this week has been a good plan, especially because it kind of gives you a proper right in or right out, which is always nice if you like to keep a tight risk. But yeah, it's been a tough week. Let's actually have it up over here. Let's bring up this past week. Give me one sec. So I actually scrolled through all of my trades from, what is today, the 20th? I scrolled through all of my trades since we started doing this strategy. We got 114 total trades, and it's been interesting to say the least. We have been. I thought there was a bigger difference. I actually went, like, this is what I was getting at. I went back and I looked, and I thought there was a bigger difference in the trades that we took that we shouldn't have taken. I thought there was going to be a bigger gap with the P&L because I thought there was a long in there that I took that was a bad loss, but there wasn't. And on top of that, like one where I didn't follow the strategy, like I FOMO'd into something or whatever. There were trades like that. There was actually 4 of them, but they weren't as big as I thought they were. And there was also 2 trades of those 4 that I actually won, where I didn't follow my strategy, but I still won on the trade. So the gap of what I thought it was going to be was actually not that bad. Now, keep in mind, my overall P&L, it was still 20%. The amount that from those 4 trades, it was still 20% of what I've made that I actually ended up losing because of not following my strat. Like it was, whatever it may be. But yeah, so what you're looking at is just this week from the 16th to the 20th. We took 15 total trades. We ended up 53.33% on the week in the win percentage. We still ended up decent, right? We ended up green, which is good. We're shooting for like 75, 80%. So the fact that we were green and we were only at 53% win percentage, that's actually not too bad. But what do you see? The theme. Our biggest loss actually came from today, which was on OSTK, but we'll get to the trade itself. But if you didn't watch the video from earlier about my recap, we didn't let that one take advantage of us. We were pretty pissed off at it. we jumped in for that fake out breakout that happened. So we got most of that back. But yeah, you'll see. I mean, look at the winners here. 20, 26, 12. Now keep in mind, on any given trade, we're looking to make 0.33 of our quota. So right now, again, this is all relative, right? This is us figuring out our strategy, making sure it works before we scale it up. So my $30, if you really want to think that it's worthwhile, just add a 0 to everything that I'm doing, and it'll make more sense to you, I guess. So you could say 100, 190, 260, if you really want to. If it'll make you feel better, this is 550. But it's all the same. All you'd have to do is just add a 0. Literally nothing else would change. But why risk that amount of money when I'm still figuring out whether this is a profitable system or not? So anyways, and our quota in that case would be 300, and our max loss would be 400, and we'd be looking to make 100 on any given trade. Again, if you want to look at it that way, but I'm going to use my numbers minus a 0, and you can deal with it. So any given day, we were looking to make $30. That first day, we had a nice winner on NVIDIA, $20. And again, we're just looking to make 10 on any given trade. So anything when we make over 10 is good. And anytime that we lose less than 20, I want to say, is actually a good loss. Because if I start getting over that $20 number, that means that we were really wrong. And we had to play the chart the way that we did to get out for a loss that was that amount. The odds of that usually happening are not very good, but they do happen, right? You've seen max losses happen where I'm just completely early, and it's going to happen. So the fact that we have good entries, and we could take a look at all of these charts, but the fact that we have all of these entries good enough to where when we end up cutting it, this is all that we're losing. That's good, right? That means our entries are good. The trade itself just didn't work out. And again, that's the kind of market, like we were just talking about, that we're kind of in right now, where not a lot has been just working. So I'm actually pretty sure I still have all of these charts. So let's see. Have a BA chart in here, and I don't see BA up here, so I'm going to assume I have them all. So let's see, NVIDIA. Let me make this bigger. Can I make these bigger? They are already as big as they get. JMIA. Maybe I don't. Why would I have this BA chart in here? Which I'm pretty sure was from last week. Oh, here it is. All right, NVIDIA. So we scroll in. This is what a normal trade from me would look like. Where I wish I could scroll in on the chart, which I could go and scroll in on the real chart, but we get in. It makes a top. We realize that it made a top. It's starting to work its way down. We hammer it a second time, risking high of day, trades over. That's what we've been doing. And this is kind of a good part of what I do on my strategy. I know the topic of tonight is learn my strategy. So that's what I'm doing. If I feel really confident in a trade and it starts to work its way down, form a descending triangle, whatever it may be, whatever I see that means that I think it's done and the odds of it going back to high of day are slim, I'm going to hit that add button and I'm going to risk high of day. That's it. And a lot of my smaller losers are because that's exactly what I did. But in the case of NVIDIA, when I get that add, if I only had a single entry, I would have needed it to get to the same spot where I ended up taking profit to get half of what I made, right? So by getting that add, I'm now confident that we're going to not only make that pullback, but I'm going to make double the profit essentially, right? Because I got that add in. So this is what a good chart would look like. And that was a good one to start off on. Let's see if I just load up. What was the next one? VFF. Where are you at, VFF? So VFF. So I guess it's not going to let me. No, don't save. So VFF, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? We got in for the break of 7. It broke 7, came back down below 7, and it probably tried 7 once or twice again and started to fail. And so I jumped in for the add and put my stop at high of day. This is literally exactly what I described. So this is what a typical loss looks for me. And I'm risking not that much. But how many times do we see, it goes back to high of day? Usually it'll give you a little bit of a pullback. And I don't know where my take profit was. It was probably somewhere in this general area. But obviously we didn't get there before it decided to go higher. Let me catch up in chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to jump in. It's obviously what this is all about. The price action on JMIA has been very mechanical, i.e. either one fund is focused on it and trading it very, is that staccato? I feel like I've heard that word before, but rise, consolidation, washout, reclaim, followed by another sharp rise, over and over again, one strong fund or one strong algo fund. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Slick? Using DOS now this week. Can't seem to get some of the hotkeys to work. Any chance I could email you a couple of the scripts and you could tell me what I might be doing wrong? I'd rather you can email me if you want, but I'm much more responsive on Discord. If you could come find me in Discord, I would be more than happy to help get them working for you. All right, so next trade was DKNJ. Yeah, I played JMIA a few times this week. 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, just twice. I thought I might have played it more than that. DK, yeah, DraftKings. I remember this one. So this one was a jerk. This was just like OSTK today, where it faked us out. We actually got our add when it pushed up through that key area and it started to fail. And we got our add as it was coming back down into this range. And then it failed and went higher, but we got our add. But again, as you can see, it decided, our loss on this one was pretty minute as well. But again, after it stopped us out, we realized it was a fake out. and it started to consolidate a little bit. And I remember getting back into this, looking for like that descending triangle to complete itself, and we were just risking high of day again. So that would have actually been a pretty small loss, and we actually ended up with a pretty decent win on this one. Yeah. So we lost $8 on that first one, but then we won 26 on that second one. So that ended up being a pretty good trade there on DKNJ. DNK. So this one looks pretty standard. I actually remember this one. I remember missing the ad on the first move. We actually kind of got lucky on this one that it came back down the way that it did. I think I was in one of the other trades when DNK made this move. Let me scroll in. When it made this move here, as you can see that candle. So when it came down, we would have been getting out right here on the bottom of that candle somewhere. Because if we would have got the ad somewhere up there, or even up here, I mean, the fact that it came down to your first entry, that means you're going to be green. I don't remember why we didn't get it, but we didn't. But when it started to come back up, I was like, okay, well, it's probably going to at least test that 250 area. We'll see what it does. I was actually kind of hoping it popped through and then came back down through. That would have been an even more solid push. That's at least what I had in my head at the time. But it failed 250, so I took my chance saying, okay, I would have liked to see you get through 250 and fail that. But, and the reasoning behind that is because usually when you're that close to a $0.50 or a whole dollar, it's going to want to go through. A lot of people see that. They want to push it through. And so that was kind of why I didn't want to hit it and risk off of here when I did, but I decided that it tried it a couple times and didn't want to go. So I saw it start to come back down. We hit the button, risking high of day, and sure enough, it came back down and ended up paying us a little bit. So that ended up being a pretty good trade there on DNK. And then there's JMIA, or at least the first one. So again, yeah, I mean, these are going to start to look very similar to you guys because I have a system in place. I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And until I get one that go, like I've had a couple that have went straight up against me because I was way too early. Those are the ones that are going to kind of make me look stupid because I'm going to have, my first entry down here. Obviously I wouldn't have an entry there, but I'm just saying, and then it makes this kind of a run here and it is what it is. But as you can see on this one, we kind of got faked out. We thought we had the top. It started to push down, came back down through 19. And I said, that's beautiful. I probably, before I hit it, it probably tried to go back up through 19 and failed at least once. And that was probably why I hit that ad. And then it immediately faked us out, went high of day, and we got stopped out. So that was what we were just talking about with JMIA. It was just very fakey. I just remember this thing being so fakey. And I mean, this is pretty much the definition of what LA was just saying, where it would go high of day, fake, go back up, squeeze back up, and then wash. Right, and then it would reclaim, and it would just do it. It just kept doing it over and over again. It was kind of ridiculous. Thomas, welcome, man. Better late than never. Camp life, have to find the right spot to get service. Why don't you just go to the same spot every time, and then you know you got service. BLNK. Yep, this is another one. This one was just a single entry. We never got an ad on this one, so our take profit, if I had to guess, was probably right above this resistance over here. It looks about 50% of the move as well, so I'm going to assume it was right around there. Obviously never got there, and went back high of day, stopped us out. That was pretty standard there on BLNK. But as you can see, I mean, look at the loss there. Really small loss. Can't really complain about that. The second trade on JMIA, this is the same one. Is that a different day? Is that the next day? Yeah, it's the next day. So this is the one we got bailed out on JMIA. I remember actually saying how lucky I got. This was another one that we got in right at the bell, as you can see, and I, for some reason, wasn't paying attention to it, and it just was grinding against me. And I guess maybe because the P&L on my unrealized, it wasn't really moving that much because it was just kind of grinding. But then I finally looked down at the chart and I was like, whoa, what is this thing doing? And it made a run on this candle. You can see this candle squeezed pretty good. And I remember, if you go back and watch the live trade on this one, I thought I was hitting the button at 2140, but it jumped down as I hit it, and it filled me all the way down here at 2120. It was heartbreaking because, I mean, granted, I still got bailed out because once I hit the ad, I put my 0.33Q take profit out there, and it just dumped and dumped and dumped and kept on dumping. And I was like, whoa, what's going on? Oh, okay, we got filled. And I was ecstatic. I was like, holy crap, completely got bailed out of this thing. It looks like it was grinding already, even at the bell. And yeah, we ended up getting bailed out on a pretty crazy wash there. Would have been even better. I mean, I can't even say it would have been better because once I hit that ad, I was only looking for that 0.33. So instead of it being here, it would have just been somewhere up in here. So I can't even say the trade would have been better. But yeah, it would have been a lot easier. We wouldn't have had to basically bottom tick this thing to get our fill. But hey, it's better lucky than good. I don't care what everyone says. You're a smart cookie. I like cookies. See, I see. This one was a frustrating one. I remember wanting more out of this. I tried to get out of this thing, or tried to scale out of this one. I think I got in with small sizing. Like the sizing was too small. I think I was looking for a bigger move to enter, and we didn't get it. So I ended up taking a position with the size I would have taken if it made that run. And I think I tried to scale out of this because I could feel the price action was kind of done here. It was bouncing off VWAP. There was some previous resistance here, trying to use it as support. I was trying to read the price action. It went through that 1650 and got bought right back up. It was pretty clear that it was going to bounce. Now, whether it bounces and creates sloppy seconds and then falls over, who knows? Obviously, this said, nope, we're going to bounce and go straight up. So those are usually the two options you have, right? Either it works or it doesn't. But I didn't get what I wanted out of the single entry, so I said, let me take half. Let's see if it'll bounce and come back down. But anytime I take profits off and I'm still in the trade, my stop is not high of day. It immediately goes to break even. That way I don't give anything back. It's a guaranteed green trade. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But again, as I'm teaching you guys my strategy, that is another key factor to it. If I ever attempt to scale out, my stop will always be break even, no matter what. At least break even. If we end up in a trade where it comes up, kind of does this, kind of starts to move its way down, and keeps on going down and down and down, eventually when it forms like real pivots, we'll probably end up using those. We'll basically trail our stop, but on a technical scale. We're not going to end up using dollar amounts. We're just going to look for those key pivot areas. But unfortunately, since we started trading this way and when we've tried to scale out, I feel like we have always got stopped out at break even. That's actually a good thing to go back and look at. I feel like every time I've tried to scale out, it's come back and hit break even. I don't think there's been one time where I ended up taking profit lower than my initial scale out. So it's actually something I might have to go back and check that just out of frustration. And we actually played Tesla. Was this the one? I thought I played it twice. Maybe I played it last week too. Yeah, this was a break-even trade. I was actually pretty salty about this one because we got in at like 504.20 or something like that. We only needed 502.20, which was like right there. And look how it came down and just bounced immediately. It almost got us, but the spread was pretty bad. And I was like, man, after this huge move from 496 all the way up to over 505, and it only dropped like 2 points out of the. I was expecting honestly for this to come down and retest 500, which it did later in the day, but I wasn't willing to let this thing skyrocket to like 520 against me while I waited for it to come back down to 5, right? That wouldn't really make any sense. But I really thought we were going to get a nice little quick pullback down to 5, but unfortunately, it didn't quite hit our take profit, and it came up and stopped us out. And and that's another part of my strategy. It's kind of like an unwritten rule. I should probably just write it in because I do it every time anyway. If something comes down and I don't take anything out, and I'm that close to my take profit, and it starts to come back up, there's no way I'm letting that thing go against me. Stop's going to be a break even, and that's going to be it. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. It's like the trade never happened. I mean, obviously commissions and some slippage, which especially on Tesla, I did end up getting some slippage there. But that's kind of if it tries to come down and fails, and it was that close to my take profit, there's no way I'm letting that thing go back against me. So I'm not going to let it see if it fakes out at high of day or any of that crap. I'm just going to cut the trade, break even, and just move on. I found that to be much better on the conscience. Trump lost. I'm pulling out from equities and putting all cash before January 1st, 2021. Can't take the risk in my retirement account. Okay. I don't have any advice to give you on that, and I don't really have an answer. That was kind of out of left field. But I mean, it is what it is. You have to do what is best for you. If that's doing that, then power on, baby. All right, and then on to today. Camille, what's up, man? How we doing? Slick, what do you like? That Trump lost and what he's doing, or what I was talking about, the break-even thing? Billy from today was a nice trade. This one was pretty standard. Had the blow through here, right? Blow through. Actually, where's the zoom in? I'm really bad sometimes at getting the better charts for you guys to see, just because it's a little easier for me. Did I not take one? Oh, that's right. I could just pull these up on my my chart. So Billy was a pretty easy one. Like I said, we had that previous resistance, blew right through it, and I just felt the top, felt the jiggle, and yeah, it was pretty standard. Came down, hit our take profit. That was beautiful. It was about 50% of the move. It was above that previous resistance. I couldn't have asked for much more. I mean, that was just a good entry, good exit. I mean, again, I always say the sloppy seconds is 50-50. The odds of you getting a pullback after an intense move is the higher probability move. I would say you're venturing up into like the 80 percentile. But after it's done that pullback, what it does after that is completely up in the air. It's a very 50-50 situation at that point. But that initial intense move into some sort of a pullback, that's the high probability move that we're looking for. All right, so that was Billy. Then we had the WKHS. WKHS, this, again, same thing. We had, I don't know where I got this line from. Maybe I was just drawing that support line from when it came back down. But I was probably looking at this line. And I didn't like WKHS. I think Discord actually brought it up today. And when we brought it up, I was like, I don't really like it. It looks like it's grinding. It's kind of grinding that 999, and then boom, it squeezed. I was like, okay, that's what I like to see. It went through 2450, got up to 2465. It started to fail. I noticed, felt the jiggle, right? Hit it 2455, and unfortunately, I don't remember. 20 is not a dollar. That's 50 cents. So I was looking for 50 cents on this one. And okay, I'm trying to remember how I really felt in this one. And I think I remember it was one of those cases where it just didn't feel like it wanted to go any lower. So if we needed 50 cents, yeah, I remember the order now, 24.05. Actually, I can just check. 24.55. Yeah, we put an order at 24.05 to cover. So let's get rid of the other one. So our take profit was right here. Of course, it's gonna skip it, whatever. And it started to bounce here. I could feel that it didn't quite want to get there. And this was one of those instances like Tesla, but it wasn't like Tesla, because Tesla shot down and then shot right back up. It was really fast. But in this case, Workhorse was just sitting here. It was just sitting here for about 20 seconds or so, and you could kind of feel that jiggle, like it wanted to try to bounce. And again, you can see it did. It came all the way back up here to this level right here. Before coming down, it still wouldn't have hit us. It would have been pretty frustrating. It got within 6 cents. But the reason we tried to scale out of this one was, again, hoping that after it bounced to that area, it would start to move back down and come lower, right? And then we could try to make some more money that way. Maybe back down to this previous resistance here, whatever it may be. But it didn't do that, right? It came down. It tried to go lower. dipped through that little area and then went back up and stopped us out of break even, right? Again, because when we take a cover, if we try to scale out, our stop goes at break even. Simple as that. And our last trades were on OSTK. So this was a cluster F. We'll keep it PG tonight. And yeah. So I don't remember which one of these orders was first. Let's take a look. 6237. Or that's the cover. 6203. Okay, so it was this one. So our first entry was this candle here, and then it went up higher, got through 62, and it made a top at this candle here, 6222. Started to come back down. We hit the button at 6203, anticipating the 62 break and the move back down. That put our take profit for 20 bucks. When I remember doing the math, it was somewhere right around this area. And I remember saying, I don't know why I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive on this one, but I was. And I just remember saying, okay, this is coming back down through 62. Let's hit it. And look at, I mean, we would have had both of our entries up here, looking for the move all the way back down here. And it would have been a beautiful trade. I felt good as I was making the trade. I hit the button. It comes down to 61.72 and immediately shot back up all the way up to high of day and stopped us out. Now, also, take a look at the high of the candle, 62.38. Our order was at 62.37. Now, keep in mind, we also had our order at 62.22. So we got some pretty crazy slippage. What is that? 15 cents of slippage, and basically top ticked the candle. And then after it top ticked us on the exit, immediately shoots back down and goes through 62. As it went through 62, I said, oh, no. Loaded pretty much the amount of shares I had for the exit. I think it was 28, but it cleared out of I had to clear my montage because the stop order was still there. I just typed in 25 real quick and I was like getting short because I knew that this is exactly what was going to happen. I mean, I obviously didn't know, right? No one knows what's going to happen. But I hit the button, and as I hit the button, it shoots right back up. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's going to stop me out again. And I basically would have had the same loss twice, which would have just been stupid. I think it was like $13 on the first loss, and then the second one would have been right around the same. Completely wiped out and made me red on the day. Would have been kind of a crappy day. But thankfully, it didn't get the high of day. It almost got there. Not quite. And then it dropped down and gave us our take profit on that one. So I was pretty happy. We actually took 90% of the position here. Well, actually, it was what's 20? It's 80% of the position. Just because I wanted to keep the shares. I wanted to keep enough shares to where it would matter. And believe it or not, I mean, 5 shares from 61.31 looking, all the way down here at 60.42, that's another 5, like $6, $7-ish dollars. So that would have been a nice addition to the 12 or so that how much did we end up winning on that trade? 11. So yeah, it would have ended up being like 17, 18, which is more than half our Q on the day. Unfortunately, it would have been just paying for that loss that it had just kind of faked us out on. And then the fun begins. So if you guys remember, when I got back into this trade, I immediately said, okay, well, obviously my stop's at high of day because I'm taking a chance here. I'm not going to, get back in and then let it run against me. And when it came back up, so what I did is after I covered 80% of my position, instead of canceling the stop and then putting it back in for my new amount of shares, I left it and just dragged it down to where my break even was. And not only did we get some slippage on the fill, but it reversed our position. So it went from 5 shares left to now 20 shares long. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I recognized it right away, thankfully. And but then it shot right back to high of day. And I was like, okay. I noticed it, but I immediately said, I was going to just get out of the position for that small win. And I was like, you know what? the way this is playing, this could do this type of move, right? It could just go. And I was like, I'm just going to put my stop at break even and see what it does. And, obviously it came back and stopped us out. So no real hurt there. But yeah, it was just a kind of a cluster F of a trade. So yeah, that was our trades on the week. Pretty good week considering how crappy the week really was. To only be 53.33% win rate and still be kind of moving in the right direction, I cannot be upset about that. Not at all. And if we go back to when we started this, September 27th, my birthday. Just put some random date in there for the end. You'll see if you look at the equity graph, you'll see when I kind of took a nosedive in here, and that was when I was kind of FOMOing in the stuff and whatnot. But we're doing pretty well, right? When I first started this strat, I predicted that I was going to be around 75% win rate, and we haven't even come close to that. Now, is it because this strat is just going to accumulate more losses? Maybe. Is the strat accumulating wins? Yes. Is it accumulating bigger wins than losses? Obviously. So if I can keep doing what I'm doing, even while I'm not where I projected myself to be, because I think I can be closer to 75, 80%, it's just not happening right now. A lot of trades that we're taking are just not fully working out. So I'm really looking forward to when we can start nailing these trades a little bit more than we already are. But like I said, if we can keep our winners, this is something I haven't done in the past, like at all, where I was keeping my winners bigger than my losers. And I'm not even trying to do that. I am aiming for 0.33Q a trade, which in this case is $10, but I'm risking potentially $40 every trade. So I'm looking to make 1/4 of my max loss that I have on any given trade, every trade. Like that's the plan. So if I were to hit a max loss, theoretically it would take me 4 single entry trades to make that back. So if I'm at 75%, that kind of evens itself out. But I knew that every loss that I took was not going to be a max loss trade. It was going to be more of these smaller losses. So the fact that I can keep my winners where I want them, unless they really struggle, but I'm also keeping my losses on the smaller side, that's what's allowing me to accumulate the P&L while the win percentage is still a little bit lower than I would like it. So if we can get that win percentage up, obviously we're only going to go up even faster. So I'm going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing moving forward, just because it's working, right? It's what we're doing is working. It's 114 trades. Even in this area, this first downslope, there was one of the bigger losses that we took that was not a trade that fit our strategy. And then on this day, this was the day where we played SRRK. It was the one day where we had 3 losses in a row that were pretty big ones, and we just cut ourselves off that day because that is it. October 27th, Hog, SRRK, and Exis. Was that that wasn't the day. That wasn't the first time Exis. Yeah, no, that was a while ago. But yeah, this was the day that was that big downslope on the chart. I mean, that was what, 42, 68, 81. So we lost $81 just on that day. One max loss, one getting pretty close to max loss, and one a little bit over 0.33Q. So that was a pretty bad day. That was a rare day. And then obviously, we strung some wins together after that, and then we had another max loss there on FTCH. There was one of the longs in here, yeah, this $12 long on NNDM, and the short because I tried to make it back. These trades, and there was a win on there as well. I remember those were two of those trades, and here was the one that also didn't count, wasn't part of the strategy. That NNDM crap was just me FOMO and being emotional. It was just bad. That was I think 3 of the 4 trades that didn't technically count towards my overall strategy. But yeah, I would like to say that overall I'm pretty happy with where we're at. We're gonna keep trucking along. It might take another 100 or 200 trades at this same area to really kind of get that sample size that I'm looking for, because I don't necessarily think that I've seen necessarily like everything I'm looking to see while doing this. Sometimes you can do that in 50 trades, but in this case, I want to keep being consistent. I want to make sure that what I'm saying I'm going to do every single trade is what I'm going to do. And OSTK, the whole playing the fake out breakout thing, that is a little bit of FOMO. I probably would mark that as something that shouldn't count towards the P&L, as far as like that's not the strat that I'm playing. But I do feel like that is something that I would do anyways because I see it happen all the time, and that was such an obvious play. Like I feel like that was such an obvious play, and I was willing. I told myself in the moment, I was like, "Well, I'm willing to whisk. I'm willing to risk high of day again to see if that's what it's going to do." And sure enough, it almost stopped me out just to laugh at me, but thankfully it didn't. But all right, let me drag this back over. Let me catch up in the chat real quick. I see Brian's in here. By the way, Tim, keep up the good work. Oh, hold on. Geez, I actually missed a little bit. We'll wait and watch for 2 to 3 months. SPY will test 200 SMA for sure with Biden coming in. I don't even know where that's at, to be honest. Is it still pretty far down there? You're saying SMA, so let me change it. Wonder how different they are. Yeah, 314. That's about where I was talking. You know, I was talking somewhere down in this area here, this 320. Some resistance, support. The 320 is a pretty major area. But let me see if I change that to exponential, if that changes at all. That's 314. 326. Oh, yeah. So exponential, so for anybody that doesn't know, exponential versus simple, exponential will take the days closer. So like, I don't know the exact ratio, but you have 200 numbers. It will actually weight the last 100 more than the previous 100. Whereas if you take all 200 as a simple moving average, it'll just take the average of all 200 together. So that's why you see the exponential is much higher than the simple, because it's taking, say, the last 200 bars, which is what the 200 is, and it's weighing the last 100 from current day more than the 100 before that. But if you take all 200 of the last one and average it out, that's why that's lower, because you start to include these bars back here. For anyone that may not have known the difference between simple and exponential moving averages. Yeah, the break-even thing. Yeah, I've been getting better at taking my profits even if it doesn't hit my full target. I totally agree with you there. Yeah, that's another thing too. And this sounds bad, but once I am scaled up, it'll be much easier. Like, let's add a 0 to everything real quick. If it's struggling and I'm only at, say, 60 out of $100 instead of $6 out of $10, it'll be much easier to like take half there. And then if it goes back to break even, so be it. I probably still made, I don't know, like 30 or 40, depending on where that is. And that's still pretty good, but you're still allowing half to maybe work out and create even more and maybe still get to that $100 mark, but at least you locked in a decent amount. Where right now it's really hard. Like it's so funny that trading a smaller number is actually so much harder because you have to try to maximize as much as you can. So you end up taking more risk because you're trying to make more out of something little. And once you get up to a bigger level, it's a lot easier to take profits along the way if you feel it's needed. Now, again, if I put my take profit out there and I think there's no reason it shouldn't get hit, I'm going to leave it there. If I think the $100 is going to get hit, I'm going to leave it there. But if it's starting to struggle at that 6 or 7 mark, I'm gonna take some off, right? Because the price action says, okay, we don't want to go lower right now. It wants to bounce, so take some off and then see what it does, right? That way you guarantee yourself a winning trade. If it continues to work, it works. If not, then so be it. You still guaranteed a winning trade. Where right now, I'm basically almost all or nothing at this point. And if it comes back to break even, it's break even. You pay the commissions and be done with it, whatever little slippage you get. So it's kind of funny, and here's the problem. once you do get up to that higher amount, you have to make sure you're disciplined enough to not always take profits too early, because that's the problem you start to run into. You start to take profits too early, and then your system that you had in place is no longer that same system. The only reason you should deviate from that plan that you had was or is because you see something has changed and you're not seeing the trade do exactly what you wanted it to do in the first place when you took the trade. So that's the only reason something should change. You shouldn't change just because it's coming down and you're like, oh, I don't want to give anything back now, I'm in a green trade, and you start taking profits too early again, because that would completely defeat the purpose of what you just did for how many ever trades it took at this lower level to make sure the system worked in the first place. So if you're not going to follow the system as you scale up, then it's kind of pointless because you got the whole reason you're doing this is that when you scale it up, you're just doing exactly the same thing. You're just putting in a different number in the share size. That's it. Brian, what's up? I would have gotten my third add-on, Billy. Oh, Billy. I think I even said that in my video today, if nobody got that reference, from Jim Carrey, the cable guy. Puts his, lifts his shirt, puts it up on the glass. Oh, Billy. Shorting parabolic spikes with overnight fees. Tim, can you tell me what I'm assuming you meant tell me, what are the fees like? TradeZero charges 5x the locate fee for hard to borrow stocks. Yeah, I've been hearing some fun stuff about TradeZero lately. I don't know anything about their setup. I honestly was just talking to Brian, and I don't even know how to borrow hard to borrow stocks on Interactive Brokers. I haven't found, I'm pretty sure on CMEG, it was under here. It was under trade, and then down here it said short locate, but that's not here. I don't know. I mean, that wouldn't do anything. Like, you could type in a symbol and it'll tell you if it's shortable or not. Oh, hold on. Let me pop this out. So yeah, I realized you couldn't see what I was doing anyway, but I was hitting trade in the main DOS trader window, and then usually at the bottom it would say short locate, but this is just the short list tab that they have, so you can type in any ticker you want, and it'll tell you if it's shortable, and it'll tell you the margin that you would have to pay. So like on JMIA right now, it's 100% cash. You don't even get any margin on it, so it wouldn't be 4-to-1 like the SPY is. It's actually 1-to-1, and right now the short size, they only have 10,000 shares available anyway, so you really wouldn't be able to short that. That's basically hard to borrow. But as far as I don't play overnight, I never have. Probably, I won't say I never will, but the odds of me shorting overnight, the only time I would probably hold overnight is if I think I got an amazing entry and that thing just fades all day, and I think it's something that is just going to continue to fade, and I have enough of a position to make it worth it. That's probably the only time I would hold overnight. I don't really see myself doing that, though, so I really can't help you on that subject, to be completely honest, because I don't use TradeZero. I never have. I don't know what their fees are like, and I honestly, since I've switched to Interactive Brokers, I don't know what their fees are. If you're talking about CMEG, I do remember CMEG, it was $25 to locate shares. Then you would also have to pay the regular commissions per share. You would also have to pay per share whatever the locate is. So like if the locate is 0.001 per share, you would pay that, the $25 and the $2.95 per ticket if you're using my code. So it's pretty expensive on CMEG to short a hard to borrow stock. So unless you're buying a lot of shares, it's probably not worth it. And then to hold it overnight, I want to say it was like 7%, I think, interest of the amount borrowed, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's on their website, I'm pretty sure, if you want to go look it up. But I want to say it was around 7%. By the way, Tim, keep up the good work. Stay around. I wasn't active for the last 2 weeks, but came and noticed you were here every day. Cool stuff, man. You are taking day trading seriously. Yes, I am. I want this to be what I do. I absolutely love it. I don't plan on stopping. I was actually just talking to my mother about this today. I found a real passion in it, It's something I really enjoy doing. It's something that I love showing up here to talk to you guys about it because I love it that much. It's something that I just absolutely love to do. And yeah, I am going to make this work. It's not I hope to make this work. I am going to make it work. For anyone that has taken big losses, Oprah actually had a pretty good saying today on my thing. Turn your wounds into wisdom. It's a pretty good one, right? Learn from your losses, basically, is what I translated that to. Brian saying, yo, what's up? Brian, what's up? What that? How do you feel coming this far in your journey? It feels surreal. That was actually something else I told my mom. It was like, in 2 years, I might not be a fully profitable day trader just yet, but I would not have thought I'd be where I am now. I thought by now I would have had this figured out, which I think I'm getting real close. But what is figured out, right? There's no like magic switch. There's no, I figured this out. It's always going to be progression. So the fact that I feel I've progressed this far, and I really like to take the Dunning-Kruger effect and apply it to myself. For anybody that doesn't know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, it's actually a really good one. Let me pull up the picture. But basically, it's you thinking, actually, let me just open that in a new tab. It's basically you thinking you know everything, but you don't. When you first start day trading, what's the, oops, how do I, there we go. No, I was going so smooth. So when you first start day trading, how many people, the 90%, including anyone who becomes the 10%, watches a couple videos on YouTube, goes on Wall Street Bets on Reddit, whatever it may be. But they come in and they're like, oh, this isn't that hard. That guy makes it look so easy. Let's just do what he's doing. And you come in here with all the confidence in the world that you know exactly what you're going to do, how quickly you're going to do it, and you think, I'm so great. Then you start doing it, and you start losing money, and you can't figure out why you're losing money. Why is this guy buying the same stock? I'm literally buying the same stock when he buys the same stock, but I'm losing money, and he's making a lot of money. What's going on here? What's going on here? And it happens over and over and over again. Well, some people who don't have any risk management or just very poor risk management end up losing and losing and losing and lose all of their money and realize they know nothing, right? They end up out of the game and they realize that, okay, I knew nothing. I thought I knew everything. I'm so great to I now know absolutely nothing. But if you had any kind of risk management, any kind of luck that kept you in the game, you start to develop screen time. You start to understand how everything's working. You start to understand why that person was winning and you were losing, even though you were trading the same stock on the same side. You start to realize what works, what doesn't work. You start to see the charts every day. You see the charts, you see this pattern happening. You see this, you start to recognize, you start learning more terminology. You start meeting people, you start putting yourself around people that have been lasting past that initial point. You don't associate yourself with the 90% that are failing. You don't pay attention to the people that you have now realized are on YouTube that classify as gurus that are selling you courses and trying to get you in their chat room and don't really actually care about you because they're trying for the quick cash grab through those means. You're starting to figure out who those people are. You're starting to advance. You're starting to progress. And that's when you start to come up this curve, right? That's when you start to finally come up this curve. And then you start to find a strategy that you like. Does it work though? Then, or an edge. You need an edge first. You find the edge. You start to apply a strategy to that edge. Does that strategy work? No. Okay, you tinker it a little bit. You figure out, what you got to do. And then you grow. Okay, it's starting to become profitable. All right, well, is it actually profitable? Nope, it wasn't. Okay, well, what do I got to do to make it profitable? But all of this through the experience and just being here, right? Showing up is half the battle. It's something I saw at the gym, a Gold's Gym years ago, and it's something that always stuck with me. Showing up to that gym was half the battle. Once you're at the gym, who doesn't go into the gym and do some sort of workout, whether it's a lazy workout, any kind of workout. But actually showing up and walking through those doors, that's half the battle. Once you're there, you're gonna 99.9% of the time do something, whether it's, again, something or nothing productive. You're gonna do something. But actually showing up and seeing these charts every single day, showing up, doing your journal every single day, showing up and actually putting the effort in every single day is what's going to get you to come back up this curve. And eventually, you're going to say, I'm pretty good, but I know my limitations. And that's where I feel like I'm at. But I wouldn't say I'm all the way up there yet. I definitely am not back to I'm so great. But I do feel like I'm almost to this point where, okay, I'm pretty good, but I know my limitations, right? That I do kind of feel like I'm getting there. That's where I feel like I'm getting to. So, and that took over 2 years. It took over 2 years. So these people that just jump in here, you know, those first 30 days, 60 days, 3 months, whatever it may be, they're the ones, you know, that I am trying with my channel to attempt to get to. I'm not pushing for it, but I like to think I'm trying to attract the 10% of people that want to realize they're not so great and that they do know nothing. But I'm trying to make this curve go like this across instead of all the way down. I'm trying to cut your curve. I'm trying to find the people to let you learn from my mistakes, avoid the gurus, avoid thinking you know everything, teach you something along the way, and hopefully make your curve a little bit smaller. So kind of went on a little rant there, but I think that was a good one. Now I'm probably pretty far behind in the chat, but let me see if I can catch up. I'll scroll through. I'll try to go pretty fast. Sammy, that was a good question. You led me down that. I think that was a pretty good segue into something like that. The week sucked. I traded twice. Yeah. Boyts, what's up, man? Graham in the house. What's up, Graham? I think you had said something earlier, but I ignored you, didn't I? Yeah, you said Tim Sykes in the house. I didn't mean to ignore you. I just kind of did. Yeah, Brian actually, I think, said he had a career day. I think it was on like Thursday, but we don't pay attention to Brian because, you know, he's just crazy. Team ISW, if you're interested, let me know. You can watch Brian trade every single day. You'll think he's crazy, but the dude just kills it day in and day out. I'm still, if it wasn't for, I'm not going to say if it wasn't for Brian, but just talking to Brian every single day, being part of the team, it's priceless. It really is. I mean, that dude could charge you $1,000 a month for what he does, but he doesn't. I don't know why, but he doesn't, and I soak up as much of it as I can. I've seen a lot of traders trade. I like to think I can tell the difference between legit ones and non-legit ones, all that good stuff. And Brian literally is the best trader that I know of, that is publicly available to me to see on a daily basis. And yeah, I don't really know any other way to say it. I should feel lucky that I'm green this week. I do, a little bit. I felt like nothing was really working for me too well. So yeah, I am pretty happy. Tim, if you're only winning 53%, will you be okay with that if you size up to potential $100 losses? Psychology tough, but I guess as long as your data points black, you're good. I think you need to check your spelling and grammar before you start hitting enter there, Graham. I don't plan to just add a 0. I was kind of just using that when I first started the stream. I told anyone who was going to complain about the numbers that I was using to just add a 0 so that they could act like it was worthwhile. But I was also saying that my numbers are going to be no different as I scale up. But you essentially could just add a 0, but the trades themselves are going to be exactly the same. That's all I was getting at with that. This week was the best week in the last 2 months for me. Yeah, it's so weird how that happens, isn't it? How it can be so good for one but not the other. Of course, Brian slayed it this week. 2 tickers there, both green. That's good. Momo in the house. What's up, man? What up, dude? What is your strategy? Actually, I take that question back. What is your process? Mommy. Mom only showed up because she saw you were here. I know it. How is my favorite Laura? Like you know another Laura spelled that way. Get out of here. Momo, I'm going to get back to you in a second. I want to catch up in the chat. I just have a button in the level 2 that says locate in Sterling. Then you click on decline or accept. Super easy. Yeah, I don't know how to do it in DOS on IB. Maybe I'll ask them. Don't know for sure. Dude, I knew IB wasn't the biz for serious shorts. Come over to CP. They have all the borrows. What are you talking about? Oh, because of that JMIA thing? Nah, dude. They had JMIA when I wanted it. I traded JMIA a couple times. Interactive Brokers has been amazing with shorts. You can ask Thomas. I've been making him a little jealous lately. He was saying, "Oh, CMEG has pretty much everything you've been shorting," but lately they haven't. And on top of that, CMEG's pretty good with shorts anyway. So that was part of the reason I went to them in the first place. Look at these guys just having their own conversation in my chat. Are we talking about the chat rooms? Oh, we weren't. Not really. That was just part of the rant. Amazu, what's up, man? Yeah, don't pay to chat in the chat room. Yeah, did you have your meeting, Jonathan? I saw you started making those at 9:30 on Fridays, and I was like, I don't think I can make that, but I figured you might know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you kind of realized that it was the same time that I've been doing my streams. What's a gym? Yeah, right. Look at the girls in the gym like a creep, pretend to work out. You still got to walk back and forth to follow the ones that you're looking at, right? So I guess you're still working out. Any word on GDT? Yeah, he actually popped in the chat this week. I want to say it was like Tuesday. He just was kind of checking in, said he misses everybody, and said he can't wait to be back. But he's obviously still dealing with the real life issues, buying a house and dealing with the divorce and stuff like that. But he made it sound like he's doing all right. So I think it'll just be a matter of time until he's ready to come back. Wow, this graph reminds me of my economics professor. What graph? Oh, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Jonathan, thank you, man. I appreciate that. As always, Jonathan dropping the 10 in my stream. I don't have any shots to take, but I got a beer. I'm going to take quite a few swigs for you. Appreciate that, Jonathan. Cheers. We need to get that orange chicken soon. Hey, now Brian is awesome. Yeah, Brian is awesome. I didn't say he isn't awesome. I just say he's hitting on my mom, and I don't like it. I've seen his charts. Brian is Riddick. Dude, the dude is nuts. I save a lot of his charts to try to learn from him. I have a whole folder of his charts. I think I've brought him out on stream before. Hope you all have an amazing weekend. I have a poker tourney to go in. Later, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Hey, I'll be hitting you up for, well, it depends. Where are we at with the, oh yeah, we're pretty high enough. Everybody hit that like button real quick. I just like to see over 20 likes. Usually I'll shoot for 30 viewers, but we may have gotten there already. Let me see. 26. Close enough. We're going to do the ISW giveaway for a free week. There is a new rule. You have to be a non-previous winner. So if you want to participate, it does have to be a new person. So I guess I really have no way of getting around you making a second account and all that good stuff. But hey, if you want it that bad, then props. But when you do make the second account, make sure you hit like and subscribe. DOS Part 2, yeah, it'll be coming out next weekend. I'm going to do it every other weekend. It'll give me time to really kind of make sure I get done in that video what I would like to get done. A lot of it is prep work, and then I kind of make some cliff notes, and then I'll kind of just go through what I want to go through. I think in the next one I'm gonna really dive into either the charts or the montage. Um, but I want to again, DOS is pretty complex, so I really want to dive deep into each thing. And make sure I dive deep correctly. So it's going to be like a 10 to 15 minute video, solely based on whatever that, excuse me, whatever that topic is, for that video. So I want to make sure I hit it right, so that in the future, it might not be beneficial to the people that are waiting for these to come out, but in the future, if anyone has any questions, I want to make sure I can be like, here's this video, here's that video, which, how do you do that with your montage? Here you go. How do you do that with your chart? Here you go. Like, I want to be able to reference a video and really just answer, hopefully, any questions that they have, based off of that. That's kind of the idea of trying to take my time with it. Yeah, just this week I got jealous. Yeah. No, I'm not Adley. It's the guy right above you, Bish. That's Thomas. Learning to day trade is just Tom. He's a Bitcoin phenomenon now, and apparently he trades options now, I think. My strategy: short, low float, big gappers, 100%, 200% at market open, or 10 to 11 a.m. or afternoon on the first day when they fade away. Only problem: catastrophic results for me. I like how you're like, my strategy is this and this and this and this, and then you're like, only problem is it's catastrophic results. GDT is the sheep. Yeah, he's a good guy. The time was primarily made because of the time zone. Fridays were for the staff meeting and Saturdays for the live stream. Yeah. I do my best to be there on Saturdays. Did you have one last Saturday? I don't remember seeing it. Or are you planning on doing them again? And I know you're saying cheers for the dono, so I'm just going to say cheers again. Mom, haven't you found out by now Brian doesn't need luck? And it's just like in the movie Rounders. People keep wanting to say it's luck. It's not luck when you play poker. No, I'm just kidding. There is a lot of luck involved. GDT, my man, why divorce? Why can't people accept each other for what they are? I had a fight with my wife discussing GDT. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the story, but maybe he will one day in the future. But yeah, it's hard to go through what he was going through, so I'll just leave it at that. 20 likes, everyone. Oh, we're at 18, and we're at 30 viewers. Look at that. We did get up to 30 viewers. If everybody here hits that like button right now, we'll at least have 30 likes, right? So let's do it. Do one with how to write scripts and what certain things mean so we can write our own. I 100% am going to be doing that, Cadence, but that's definitely down the road. That's definitely one of the more complex subjects, and that one will probably be like a 20-30 minute video, because I do plan to do exactly what you just said. That is definitely one of the topics in the works. I never enter because I already used the ISW scans. I still recommend that if you want to check out the team aspect of it, you get the chat rooms, and you get the 2 ultra scans as well. So the ultra scans, it's basically the plus and minus I3 scan, but it's when it goes high of day and low of day. So it kind of filters a little bit better, for the breakout type trades. And I don't know, I like being able to filter those out because it's less charts you have to pull up while you're scanning. So it is something nice to have, and it's just something, you can experience it if you want. Tim is likable. 25 likes, please. Thank you in advance. Appreciate that, Sammy. Once Bitcoin goes up, how much further you want it to go up? Thing is like at 18,000 or something, isn't it? Thing's crazy. Everyone starts getting excited. We are seeing a repeat of 2017. Live streaming will not resume until February of next year. Gotcha. I was gonna say, I didn't feel like we had I feel like I didn't see the live stream pop up because I have it set so it'll send me the notification. Brian, how long have you been trading for? Give it to me straight, big boy. I think he's been trading for, because he's gone now, 16 plus years. I want to say it's more than that, but I think it was like 16 years. Maybe it is 16 years, but I want to say that he says that he's been trading the way he is now for like the last 8 or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Don't quote me on that. So are you. What's up, man? How you doing? My second strategy, low float stocks that are dumped 60, 70, 80%, I buy them for a dead cat bounce. My problem, the dead cat almost never bounces. Are you starting to, you're trolling me, Sammy. Are there any good alts recommendation to buy? What do you mean by alts? I'm confused. Oh, altcoins. Gotcha. You guys are having a cryptocurrency conversation in my chat. It's okay. It's all good. 7 years? So he's been trading 7 years the way that he currently has. Talking about Brian. Thank you, Thomas. I have to average down and beg and go to StockTwits and put those propaganda tweets to bring the cat alive. Oh, I love it. I can't even tell you how bad I want to be where Brian is already. Yeah, I think everybody does. Brian is the dude knows what he's doing. All right. So back to Momo. Let me pull up Billy, since this was our trade from today. And I'll explain as quickly as I can my process so that we can get to the giveaway. But basically, my process is I pull a stock up off the scanner. It's always off the scanner. You'll never see me pull a stock up that is not right off the ISW scanner. It's where all of my plays come from because they're the highest probability trades. So when I pull it up, it'll most likely be going high of day of sorts. In Billy's case, this thing was going all-time highs, which can usually be a little bit more tricky because when you look left, there's no obvious spots to look for key levels for it to stop. So basically what you're doing is during the intense move, I'm looking for an extension away from a previous resistance, and I'm looking for a jiggle. And what do I mean by a jiggle? It's really the key to this whole thing, to be completely honest. When a stock is moving up, the ask gets taken out, keeps getting taken out, keeps getting taken out. Ask just keeps getting taken out, keeps moving up, keeps moving up, keeps moving up, until eventually, when it's nice and extended, people start to say, okay, this is nice and extended. I'm going to start selling my long position. And so they start hitting the bid to get out of their position. They start, basically, the price action goes from a candle that just keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher until it stops. And once it stops, you'll see the bid get hit, the ask get hit, the bid get hit, the ask get hit, the bid get hit, the ask get hit, and then it tries to go higher, and then it comes back down, and then it tries to get back up to high of day again, and then starts to come back down. That's the jiggle. You're looking for it to basically run into the ceiling and then try to poke through that ceiling. I can't get through the ceiling. I can't do it. Okay, it's time to pull back. That is my process explaining it to a 5th grader. A stock tries to go up through a ceiling. It finally gets to the ceiling. It cannot go through. It's punching. It's running into too much resistance, and so it falls. That's basically what I'm looking for, is that jiggle. Now, is that jiggle always right? No, obviously, right? There's times where I hit this and this thing would have went to like $64, $65, right? It can happen. But it doesn't mean there wasn't a jiggle there. It doesn't mean there was a pause in the action and it was trying to stop there and have a pullback. But what can happen is it can pause, jiggle, 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 and then all of a sudden, buyers step in again, right? That can happen. But is that more likely to happen when a stock is not that extended or when it's already really extended? If it's really extended, you have to start thinking like the 90%. Would the 90% actually still buy this stock? Would they continue to buy this stock? It's really extended. It looks really extended. Are they going to FOMO into this stock still? And that's just something you kind of learn to see over time. Like, because if you scroll out and it made this move here, and this is a pretty decent move, right? Up to this area, to this pre-market high. But at this point, you can actually see it tried to jiggle right there. Look, it went up to 60.54, came all the way down here to 60.15 before continuing. But as you can see, there wasn't much of a pullback there because you have to think like the 90%. The 90% sees, oh, this is a breakout opportunity through those pre-market highs and all-time highs. So would they continue to FOMO into a trade here? The people that have absolutely no clue what they're doing? Yes, right? That's a yes. But now that we had another huge candle and we're all the way up here, now they realize, wow, look at this breakout we got. I'm going to sell. Like that's all they're thinking. I got a breakout. I'm going to sell. Some of them are, the real idiots are still FOMOing into this thing thinking, oh, we're going to $100, whatever. The people off stock twits. But the odds are when you start to feel that jiggle, you're running out of the smart people, the smarter people that were pushing this thing up, right? Along with the FOMO from the 90%. That's when you look to enter. That's when I look to enter. And that's usually when you get a pretty decent pullback, because then it starts to sell off, and then you get the 90%. Say some of them got in here, it starts to come back down. They're like, okay, crap, I got to take profit. It's done. You get the people that, started up here. They're like, crap, it's going green to red on me. I'm getting out. And then everyone starts to sell. You got the shorts piling in. You got the people taking profit. You got the people that got into late that are now panic selling. You got the people that are just taking profit, a little bit of profit because they thought it was going to go higher, but it's coming back down. And that's usually why you get the elevator down, the flush back down. That's my strategy process in a nutshell. This is what you would call a perfect trade, right? You get a perfect entry, basically, a great exit, and it tried to go higher after I got out. I can't ask for anything more. As I said before, when it starts to go back up like this, it's 50-50 at that point. You don't know if this is going to go high of day and go up to $100. You don't know if it's going to bounce off high of day, double top, and go down like it did. You don't. That's very 50-50. But the high probability trade is when you get a fast move, a really fast move, you find that jiggle, and you look for that pullback. That's the high probability move. And I'm talking 75, 80, 85%. Like that's the edge. That's the edge that I have, that I look for. That fast move, looking for that pullback. After that, all of this, you can say, oh, I only play double tops. Oh, I only play ABCD patterns. Oh, I only play support resistance. Oh, I only do VWAP bounces or VWAP fades. All of that crap is 50-50. I mean, maybe it's 55-45, 60-40, whatever it may be. If you're really good at reading other things like volume, whatever. But those will never have a big edge like these intense parabolic moves. It's that simple. These happen all the time, every day. It's just a matter of finding them, timing them correctly, and learning how to trade them. That jiggle is not something you can teach. It's something you have to learn. It's something you have to see. It's something you have to feel. Hold on. It's something, again, which goes back to the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's something, if I had a course and if I had a chat room, I would not be able to teach you this. I could tell you about it every day, but until you start to experience it for yourself, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to get it. It's one of those things where I can sit here and tell you what to look for, but until you actually go look for it yourself and actually trade it and actually feel it happening, watching that price action do it. Now keep in mind, guys, I trade with no level 2. I trade with level 1 and the candles. That's all I have. That's all you need. I don't have time and sales. I don't have level 2. I don't have any of that stuff. What you see on my chart right now is what I use. I mean, granted, this is usually the 9. And the only reason I have the 9, I was telling David this today, the only reason I have the 9 on my chart is to identify grinders. That's it. I don't use it for anything for trading related stuff. I just use it to keep myself out of grinders. That's it. But yeah, let me make sure there was no questions in here as I was going along here. And then we'll get to the giveaway. Does Brian only counter trend trade like yourself? Yes. Yeah. He does. He's basically where I learned how to do this. My strategy is when RSI crosses 50 SMA, lower than 50% away from the 200 EMA on the 3rd of the month, or when Trading Monkey says I'm getting it, I follow him, made 200 million already. As I was reading that, I was like, this is not real. I can back Jonathan. He said, I've been saying for 3 years that Bitcoin would break the high in 2021. He's been saying that since I met him. And that was almost 2 years ago. So, yeah. Do you check for company facts? I have to know if it's a real company or a scam. I can short the F out of. My process is a scan to find stocks, BAMSEC to look for dilution, FinViz to find techs. Then I watch replay to understand the stock's attitude. Next, if I still like it, I make a plan with my risk reward parameters and within my rules. First resistance is better than you think. If that's your edge, do it, man. There's thousands of different ways to make money in the market. I don't look for any of that. If the scanner goes off, I look at it. I don't look at the only thing I look at is the float of a stock, because that is what can make a stock very erratic. If it's a really low float, and I'm talking like under 20 million is usually when I start to pay attention to the float. Anything over 20 million up to like 120, that's kind of my sweet spot. Anything over 120, it gets harder to move the stock, so I tend to stay away from those unless they're obviously moving more than they usually would have. And then that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for those FOMO type moves. But if that's your process and it's working and it's proven to work, you have a journal, you're keeping that journal, it's proven to work and you're profitable, keep doing it, right? That's the beauty of this. You don't have to trade like I do, but for people that are interested and they want to learn about how I'm doing it, that's why I'm putting it out there. But it doesn't mean it's the only way to trade, not by any means. If you have a way to do things and it's working, do it, right? I highly encourage it, and especially if you're making money and it's fun, because this is no different than any other job. It has to be something you enjoy doing. I absolutely love doing this. So if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, guys, if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. It should pop up, actually. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it should. I mean, his donation popped up, so yeah, it should. Very well explained. Thanks, Jag. Thanks, Lance. You owe me a song on Monday morning. We've been calling Jag Lance Bass ever since we found out his name is Lance. My edge is knowing those shit companies' stocks can't ever hold its gains. They always fail or fall. Yeah. You're not wrong. But yeah, like Jonathan just said, stocks under $5, which are penny stocks, they act differently altogether. So true. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Yeah. All right, we're all caught up. Let's get to the giveaway. If you want to be in the giveaway, put the number 27 in the chat. Remember, no repeat winners, so I'd appreciate it if you don't make me sift through who's won. I'm actually going to open a notepad. You might get away with it every once in a while, but from here on out, I'm going to keep tabs on who's entered and who hasn't. But all you got to do is put 27 in the chat. I'm going to pull up my number wheel, which I have nice and saved. I absolutely love this thing. And we're going to get going here on the giveaway. 1 week of Team ISW. You get to be part of the team for a full week. You get all the scanners. You get the Ultra Scan. You get me. You get David. You get Brian. You get the random GDT pop-ins. You get Vic, who made an actual appearance again today. He said he's working on getting back. He's dealing with buying a new house and all that good stuff as well. You get everything, guys. You get the ability to be in those chat rooms with Brian. I'm just going to tell you, it's so priceless. Like, what I'm giving you is, I think, like a $60, $70 value, even without Brian. But to have him in there, I mean, soak it up. If you win, show up to that chat room every single day. Don't be afraid to talk. And I mean, we keep a small group of people in there anyways. So ask away. Come in there, take a full advantage of your week. Because like I said, we're not going to have any repeat winners anymore. So take advantage of that week. Ask as many questions as you can and really dive deep into what you can. It doesn't have to be this strategy. It doesn't have to be about the scanners necessarily. If you have questions just about anything, ask. We're here to help. That's the whole point of this. All right. Let's, you know what? We're just going to start now. If you've won before and you want to take part, go ahead, enter in, and we're going to start this week. No repeats after this week because it is a new rule that I just put in there. So let me start putting them in. We got Ever, Zile, Shin, Oni, Bish, Core, Momo Scalper, Keegan T, Irakli, Sanadzi? I probably screwed that up so bad. I'm sorry. Soryu. I said it right? Sweet. I did not think I said that right. I probably didn't. You're just being nice, but it's okay. I appreciate it. I am winning, guys. Just leave. Sammy, you didn't even enter. I don't see a 2-7 from you. Gold Star. Amazu. All right, I'll give you guys 40 seconds. Sammy entered there. We'll do it at 10:33. And good luck to everybody. Hopefully you guys got a little something out of this live stream. I hope you all have a great weekend. I appreciate y'all stopping by. If you do win, again, always just find me in the Discord. Discord link is down in the description for anybody that is interested. Oh yeah, let me turn the volume on. I always forget that. We had a ball in there today. It was so much fun. Devin, Jag, Thomas, me, Steve was in there. I know you might not know who they are, but if you become a regular in there, it's a great time. You should join. We talk trading all morning. We're very serious. When things start to slow down, we like to have a good time, and we still like to talk trading, grow as a community, grow as a group, and yeah, it's a lot of fun being in there. But all right, here we go. Good luck to everybody, and again, if you win, find me in the Discord, and we'll take care of that.
All right.
Jonathan with the 10 ball. I can't hit it before taking. You know what? I got a little bit low. We're just gonna down this real quick. Actually, you know what? Let's do both at the same time. Jonathan, cheers. Appreciate you. Good luck, everybody. Look at Sammy. He knew what he was doing. Sammy trash talking, pulling out the win. Look at that. He said, I'm winning. Just leave. And he won. Ah, I love it. I love it. Sammy, congratulations, man. Find me in the Discord. I'll get you hooked up probably tomorrow at some point after Brian wakes up. And I appreciate y'all stopping by. Again, if you do have any questions or comments, feel free to find me in the Discord. Hit me up on Twitter. Leave a comment on any of the YouTube videos. But have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys Monday. Peace.